met a girl there in the bright side of a dream. Sweet Arizona, sweet as I had ever seen. Listening to Rolling Stones and rolling in the Jeep. La la la, la la la, la la la. Drove out to Malibu, got lost along the way. Wound up in Mexico and thought we'd never stay. Cold drinks and hot beaches, we danced the night away. La la la, la la la, la la la. Singing, take me home tonight. I need you in my arms to wake up and feel alive. Sweet Arizona, yeah, I just can't get enough. I just can't get enough, no, I just can't get enough of you. Sweet Arizona, sweet Arizona. Her hair was fire red like red rocks in the sun. Her eyes were stained glass like blue under the glacier runs. Nowhere we're going, still don't know where she came from. La la la, la la la, la la la. Singing, take me home tonight. I need you in my arms to wake up and feel alive. Sweet Arizona, yeah, I just can't get enough. I just can't get enough, no, I just can't get enough of you. Sweet Arizona, sweet Arizona, sweeter than California, sweeter than Tennessee, sweeter than Colorado, sweeter than Georgia Peach. Started with conversation, now you're here next to me. 24/7 days of sweet. Arizona, take me home tonight. I need you in my arms to wake up and feel alive. But I just can't get enough. I just can't get enough. No, I just can't get enough of you. Sweet Arizona, take me home tonight. I need you in my arms to wake up and feel alive. Sweet Arizona, yeah, I just can't get enough. I just can't get enough. No, I just can't get enough of you. Sweet Arizona, sweet Arizona, sweet Arizona, sweet Arizona, sweet Arizona. Early this morning, woke up, holding my head, hearing my heartbeat all night long. Shades of this motel, keeping me in bed, reading the news, just trying to stay strong. I need to just get up and take a deep breath, keep it together, cause it's so beautiful. Some of my friends feel okay. Don't let it get away, it's a beautiful day. Beautiful now, screaming out loud. It's a beautiful day. Used to feel sad now, this okay. Don't let it get away. It's a beautiful day. Feel so proud, scream out loud. It's so beautiful. On my face, feel okay. Don't let it get away. It's a beautiful day. Feel so proud, scream out loud. It's so beautiful day. Don't change your mind, honey, I'm on it. Do anything you want, but let the blood subside. And in my heart, honey, I got you. So don't worry about it, being like a head by mine tonight. Don't change your mind, honey, I'm on it. And I don't really care about the other guys. You're so fly, honey, I love it. You know I literally cannot get you out my mind. Oh no. 'Cause I just wanna get you high. I just wanna make you wanna make me yours. Come on, baby, I just wanna let you know. Oh no, I got a nervous feeling in my belly, I can seem to let it go. 'Cause I'm falling in love. All right, guys. Thank you so much for joining us. Okay, today. So good afternoon. 大家下午好, konnichiwa, whatever. Okay, so here is actually the English sections. My name is Alvin, representing Personal Caddy Consulting, to welcome every one of you to come with us for this 75 minutes time to go through about today's topics on career searching. So it's an advanced level in English. All right. So not only myself, but also my teammate Sabrina will be there to share a lot of different skills with you. All right. But before we really start, allow me to say a few words on the objective. So what's the reason for us to do the free webinar right now? Because, okay, not only ourselves, my teammate, Learning Academy, but also the whole company of the Personal Caddy Consulting. In view of the current situation of the COVID, we found that economic impact is pretty high. And quite a number of people, they are pretty much suffered from the losing of the job, and also a lot of pay cut, this and that, a lot of different situations happen. So that's why for us, the whole company, we are thinking, so what kind of contribution that we be able to do in order to let people get help, people from Hong Kong or people from different places of the world. Then, we think that maybe some sort of like the free webinar can help a little bit. We know that our effort won't be very big, but then we still would like to, create some value to you. Last week, my teammate Winnie has been doing one workshop talking about the emotion management. And then after that, I also did one workshop on the career breakthrough and design. These two webinars were in Cantonese, and if you are interested in it, then you can go for the Facebook link and then have a view of that. Oh yeah, so today, not only about the people sitting there, viewing about our webinar by the Teams live show, but the same thing is also broadcasted in the Facebook pages and also our YouTube pages. All right, so then when emotions and also the career breakthrough design is already be there, so we got certain energy. So today we would like to dive into a very technical and very important skill about the career search. So Sabrina has been pretty much experienced and expertised in crafting a good CV and also how to do an effective interview to attract your future employer. So today we would like to dive in this technical skill, which that can be one of the very good preparation for your next move.
Okay, so then today the whole things will be in English,
Yes.
and probably after that we are going to send out one single pages of the summary. So you don't need to take a lot of note right now. Sit a little bit back. Give us a lot of questions, give us a lot of comment. If you can fill it, by the Teams Live, by YouTube Live, by Facebook Live, just type your comment there, and we would like to have a certain Q&A section at the very last 10 to 15 minutes, okay, to give an echo to the particular question that you have in your mind. All right, so I don't steal the time and then pass it to Sabrina to have some introduction to you guys.
Okay. Hi, good, happy Friday, and a good day to all of you here.
Yeah.
Yes.
Happy Friday.
Yes. Yeah. Friday is always a good day, isn't it, to start off? Yeah. And my name is Sabrina. Nice to meet all of you now here. And we're very happy to be here to actually do some sharing session on this topic. Yeah. So it's going to be 75 minutes. And I just want to encourage you to sit back and relax and absorb. And if you have a pen and a paper, because it can get little bit technical later, okay? So I'll just do a bit of short intro by myself.
Yeah.
So if you listen, maybe I've got a bit of accent. I'm from Malaysia. Yeah, it's been they always laugh about my Cantonese. Yeah,
because your English is not too Cantonese.
Yeah,
Cantonese. Okay.
Yes, Manglish. Yeah, and so I've been here in Hong Kong for 7 years now, and really love this country and the people. In the city. And my background profession, it's in HR, has been in this line for more than 13 years. Yeah, I've been career coach as a recruiter to now HR consultation. Yeah, so I'm very, very passionate about this industry because it's really connecting with the people. So today's topic is really very much about, those of you who's going through some career transition and changes, right? And how can we actually come in and maybe share some of our experience and skill sets with you. And talking about that, we want to dive into some hard facts out there, right, Alvin? Recently, we know Hong Kong our government has come out with a report that unemployment rate has hit a high of 5.9%. Yeah. So it's really serious, and I'm sure it's also hit other parts of country, including my country, Malaysia, as well. So it's been like 230,000 people are having job loss at the moment.
Yeah, that's the highest record in Hong Kong for these 15 years.
Yes.
So it's pretty severe.
Yeah. So I'm sure a lot of people are affected by this situation, right? I know, friends around us, families or contacts or even candidates, some of them going through some job loss, redundancy, some even have pay cut, right? Salary reduction. It's not an easy thing that you go through, I believe. And we hope that, with this session, we want to start with the right mindset. So these are actually some of the key objectives we want to go through the session. Yesterday, we had one session in Cantonese. I was struggling a little bit, but it was okay. Basic, right? So this time we do a little bit more in-depth of the similar skills, the tips on CV writing and also interview tips, but it's more for advanced level, maybe some senior levels, right? So why do I say mindset is very, very important? Let's go through, some of the key pointers here. As all of us know, this COVID-19 situation is going to take some while. And of course, we have a social unrest last year as well, right? So we have feedbacks from, some of my candidates, they will say, what for, right? If I send my CV, it's going to be slow response. I've sent like maybe 20 or 30 of them, and there's no opening, clients are not hiring, and what should we do, right? But please know that job hunting is a process, right? So just be patient. But meanwhile, are you gonna sit back and just watch Netflix every day and do nothing about it? You want to do something, right? So you want to be ready when opportunity arrives. And also maybe you can turn it into some positive time, right? How to turn the obstacle to an opportunity. In Hong Kong, we always laugh that, every day it's so busy, no time for everything. And we have been so caught up in the in that time that we don't have time for reflection. So maybe this is the time, if some of you 9 to 5 job, and do you really enjoy what you do? I think it's very important because most of us spend like maybe average 80% of our time at work. So are you happy at work? Do you enjoy what you do? Are you passionate about it? Right? Or is a day in out kind of thing? Are you stuck? You felt that you are not progressing. So maybe this is the best time to take time off, right? To explore about your passion, what you really enjoy doing. Steve Jobs says something like, if you enjoy doing something, it's not a job anymore, right? So that's the true on that. And also it's the best time to pick up new skills. Yeah. And so in the end, we talk about action. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think a lot of action that we need to take.
Yeah.
And, giving an echo when listening to Sap, just 2 things. We know that if you've been with your job for a long time, and somehow suddenly some situation change. Some people, unluckily, they got being laid off, and some people, they are just pretty much scared, and also question about whether the company can sustain or not. But anyhow, I think things already happened. The fact already happened. So how we be able to pick up about our energy and about our mind to take the right action? I think that would be one thing very, very important. And second of all, as said by Sap as well, we know that job hunting is really a process. It's not easy to you just get it through and then send one CV, and then there will be an interview, and immediately you got your job successfully hooked up with any employer. So that's why how we be able to train our mentality, how we be able to train our psychology to have the right mindset to keep it on. I think that is the right mindset to go ahead.
Yep. So when talking about mindset, right, I really want to share a personal story.
Wow.
Yesterday I shared a similar story, but we're going to take away some key different points today because for the advanced group people and more senior, right? So if you look at the picture here, who is this Lang Zai Ye, right?
Who is this Lang Zai?
So he's my grandpa, actually. I want to tell the story because it's real and it's inspiring to me as well. I hope you will encourage all of you. So this is my grandfather, and when he was 16 years old, he actually moved to Malaysia. But during that time, don't know whether 托運或者飛啦shipping or fly over, right? During that time, so internet and poor background. In China, it's very tough during that time. It's closed economy, right? So he followed his dad, 16-year-old, moved to Malaysia. So that's why I'm actually the 3rd generation Malaysian Chinese. And so they tried to look for a job, earn some money, explore different businesses, actually from mining to electrical, plastic manufacturing, and etc. Many. And he failed many times as well. So it was a very tough period for them. Can you imagine? I want to relate this to some of you here because some of us here are probably senior level, right? So maybe 20 over years with the same company, same role, and wanted some changes, right? But it's difficult. How can you are now currently a senior manager or director. You want to move into different industry. So you got to start over. You got to build new network, new environment, new maybe skill sets. How are you going to do that? Similar. So during that time, my grandfather, moved into a new country, doesn't know a lot of people, no money, but you got to start with somewhere, right? So that's why, with embracing the changes and staying positive, right? In there's actually a lot of key learning. So be flexible, be open-minded, keep on trying. So my grandfather always said, 即係人生最緊要就係勤力啦、努力 right? In Cantonese,
in Cantonese.
Means you work hard, you strive, and you persevere. If you fail, it's okay. You fall down, you pick yourself up again, keep moving forward until you reach that goal, right?
That's so true.
So for that, you need to be very focused and persistent, right?
Yeah. So even though I don't know Grandpa personally. But knowing Sabrina already, let me have a feel that maybe I also know Grandpa. And there will be a say that just now Sab didn't really share. In Chinese, it's called, 人生有幾多個十年, right? So in our life, how many 10 years could there be? Okay. So I think that is quite true. No one guarantee about our tomorrow. Things happen today. It's just a fact. How we respond to it is our life. Okay. So stay positive and embrace changes. That is so correct.
So the end of the story is he successfully actually set up some new factories. It's actually many factory industries now in Malaysia is all set up. But because of my grandpa's a lot of hard work and all that. So you guys are the same, right? So I want you to have this, have the end result in your mind. Just stay focused and you will reach there one time.
Yeah,
okay.
Very true.
And let's start off with our 5 tips of resume writing, right?
Wow.
Yeah.
So for a lot of you, probably this one, I'm not sure. Some of you think that, oh my God, there will be a couple of decades I didn't search for my job, so I didn't update my CV at all. For you, maybe something good to, to learn and input as a new skill. But for some of you, maybe you already got a very sophisticated resume, but yet it's still good to do some reflection on it. Huh?
That's true. So in my, experience of a career coach and also recruiter, I met a lot of candidates, and you're right. Some of the, us, we have a CV seated there, and it's been a while that we refresh ourselves.
Yep.
So it's good to look at some of the tips again, and to remind ourselves what is the basic stuff, right? So tip number 1, have a very clear content, similar with what I mentioned yesterday. Because the top part of the resume is what the recruiter or hiring manager look at the first time.
Yeah.
So have key informations there with a decent profile summary. I will elaborate some of the examples on a key pointer here. Work experience must be there, education and others like training. If you have certification, qualification, volunteering work, why not add those in? Yep. And we're going to go straight to, yes, this is an example.
I saw a picture.
Yeah, this is me like maybe 10 years ago, I think.
Oh, really? So you are getting younger now.
Thank you, Alvin, sweet talker. So let's focus here, right? So there you go. We have the checkbox. If you look at the sample of CV, I'm just showing a 1-pager sample, right? We're going to dive into some detail later on. And tips number 2, profile summary. So some of you may ask, what do I insert in my profile summary, right?
Yeah.
Some of you may read something like a personal summary is similar, yeah? And so the tips is actually a short background snapshot of your work experience, education, and background. 4 to 5 bullet points, highlight technical skills and relevant soft skills as well.
Well, I always would have quite, I think it's actually quite challenging to design how long to, put what, to put up the whole things as a profile summary. And as a matter of fact, if that is only 4 to 5 bulletin point, right? So it's not very easy to design what sort of points to be put. So any advice on that?
Yeah, I came up with a sample here. So this is just a mock-up based on the more senior retail sales, could be a senior manager or director, right?
Yeah.
So if you look at a pointer here, overview, you can see that it's more than 15 years of working experience in the fashion retail industry, with 10 years in ops and 5 years in management.
Wow.
Okay. Overseeing sales and merchandising, marketing, promotions with a team of 5. So you see here, this person, it's people manager, right? It's very, very clear. And next, highly knowledgeable with handling customer relationship management, CRM system. So this guy, has some this technical skills, strong leadership skills, stakeholder engagement, and cross collaboration.
Wow.
Strong team player, right? Straight away, and people oriented. It tells you about the personality of this person who love building relationship with customer and provide excellent customer service. And then excellent in communication. So you want to end with some soft skills, results oriented, you're creative in problem solving, and highly adaptable.
which I would have a feeling that, by writing up this profile summary, right? I think it's a very good reflection time of my life if I got a couple of decades of working experience. So I think somehow, as you mentioned, no matter whether we've been in Hong Kong, whatever places, normally people are pretty much headache, not much time to stop and then review about our life. But by writing down our profile, I wish that you guys would have two things can be achieved. Number one is a very quick and short summary for people to memorize about you, right? So that is so much important in the resume. And second of all, you feel a bit proud of your own self. I think somehow we need to acknowledge our experience.
Yep.
I mean, no matter how hard the situation is right now, by reviewing about your own self, you need to first of all acknowledge how great you have been doing in the previous time. So here is actually a profile summary not only for the resume, but also for your live review.
Yeah, that's true, Alvin. You're so right. So I would encourage you guys, right? You just spend maybe half an hour to 45 minutes, come up with that. When you do some reflection, you feel good actually. You didn't realize that, wow, something joy, right? I mean, after 10 years, these are some of my competency and all that. You feel good about it, right?
You only got 5 years, no?
Huh? No, just example.
Okay.
And tip number 3, right? Tailor your resume. What does it mean? Yeah. So we're talking about 80% of large companies nowadays use ATS. ATS means applicant tracking system. Yeah, because we're now in a digital world, online and all that, and companies and all that doesn't have time to screen, shortlist and screen through all maybe thousands of CVs for the bigger corporations. So they use AI to track some keywords from the CV that you send, and if you don't have the similar keywords based on the job posting, you're gonna miss it out, right? So this is why you need to tailor-make your CV to specific role that you apply for different companies.
Wow,
right?
I think that is so much important when you talk about the ATS. Is new digitalized and way of boosting up the efficiency for a lot of in-house and external recruiter. So how many, as SAP got a lot of recruiter experience, how long exactly the experience that you got? More than quite a long years, right?
Maybe 10 plus years, a combination of, because I was also doing a bit of account management.
So the genuine question that I would like to ask is how many CV normally you view in a day?
It really depends on, if you're doing outsourcing, right? You can process, you need to process more than maybe 200, 300 CVs, right? But if you're doing a search, headhunting, specific role and more senior, you need to do mapping. Then, you may map maybe about 100 or 50, depending really. So it's tough.
But then in a day, you really need to glance through a lot of different CV.
Correct.
And if this new technology, I think it's actually not pretty much common, maybe 20 years ago. But now it's actually quite a common thing for helping the recruiter to collect the relevant CV.
Yeah.
So that's why without the relevant words to be put inside that resume, it's not easy to be picked up by the technology. So the chances for you to be exposed to the recruiter will be much lesser.
Yeah, that's right. So I give you an example, right? So for example, your job posting, it's written there, marketing manager in the consumer industry,
right?
In maybe healthcare products, right? So in your CV, it's written there, marketing manager as well, but in a different industry, probably retail or digital. And you want to match back to the keywords from the job posting. So let's say the job posting mentioned marketing manager, but has a lot of digital social media kind of experience, and you only put online. So, but it's a similar thing, right? So you need to map out and put it relevant back to, whatever is in your current CV and expand a bit longer so that it match the keywords. It's similar. So we are not asking you to fake or come up with something that is, copy and paste. Yeah, just need to make an effort to tailor it a little bit. Like for example, customer service, customer support is the same. So yeah.
So correct. So make a little innovation and intelligence on the use of word, the selection of word to increase the chance of exposure of your CV to the recruiter. I think that is actually the key. Before we go for the next tip, just would like to let you guys know that we already got some question on the Teams Live.
Really?
So quick, so fast.
Okay.
So if you're sitting in front of the YouTube Live, the Facebook Live, whatever, so try to toss us some questions. And at the very end part, we are going to reply you.
Okay, all right. Let's go to tip number 4, right? Achievements is a big word. What does it mean?
Wow.
Yep. So it's very practical, but it's a good, very, very good tips, yeah. You know, every CV you will have actually job descriptions, right? And you'll be surprised, actually, a lot of people doesn't insert achievements in there. So what does it mean? I have this experience where, you know, I don't want to mention a client's name, but, you know, he was looking for a marketing manager. And we sent a lot of very, very good candidates background and CVs and, you know, those who are high potential. But he came and said, oh, Sabrina, you need to shortlist more. Because I said, why? You know, this guy achieved a lot of things, but there's no measurable results. There you go. So what does it mean, measurable results, right? So anything to do with numbers. For example, if you help the company to save cost, money, some percentage, or build up something.
You increase the, you know, the productivity of the team, and then try to set up a new SOP, whatever system. I think that is all something very special, not only described in the job duty.
Yeah, anything to do with numbers, right? Just come up with 1 or 2 pointers, that's fine. For every employment that you have, reflect back, put in 1 or 2 pointers. Example, if you're doing sales, this year, you know, successfully turn around the business, increase sales revenue by 25% and customer base by 30%. In 2019.
That's huge.
Right? If for some of them, you know, the company is very lucky to have that. But if you would say, Sabrina, you know, I am not doing sales, I wouldn't have results, right? No, that's not very true. So think out of the box, right? For example, this one, you can successfully create a manual SOP for the team, which before that non-existent. There you go. This is an achievement as well. Yeah,
I think that's so true. If I were the employer, you know, when I look into the CV, normally for the working experience, there will be a lot of different company names, title, JD. But as a matter of fact, I know those companies. You know, when I glance through about the job platform, the job board, and then just type the similar title, definitely all the JD will be there. I know everything. So why you still need me to know that from your CV, but not something very personalized about your own your own achievements?
That's right.
I think that makes you have the edge.
That's true. Imagine, there are thousands and thousands of candidates looking out for a job. And so you want to be competitive and stand out from, you know, the rest. So tip number 5, something special about you. So that's also relate to what you mentioned, right? What makes you so special, you know, compared to the rest? What makes recruiter pick up and shortlist? You know, I've got like 200 CV today. I've got only 1 role. Why do I have to pick up your CV and shortlist to my client, right? So,
but I think this one, I think it's not a generational specific kind of question. But if something I'm thinking myself that, you know, if I need to put about a special thing about myself on my own CV, so what sort of things I should put? When I really answer that question genuinely from my heart, I think one of the very special things that is I do Facebook Live every single day. Do you think it's
we all know that?
Do you think that is a little bit, you know, risky to put this kind of thing onto the CV?
Not really. I think it's great because, you know, it shows that, you know, you are someone who's creative, proactive, and, you know, you do something out of normal work as well, right? So, for example, you know, I will encourage you to put on volunteering works, right? Weekends, you know, for some of you who maybe teach Sunday kids, right? Sunday schools and orphanage, you know, why not? It shows that, you know, you actually, it does reflect a bit of your personality.
That's true. That's true.
And you care, and you're connecting with people, and you're exploring, you know, different community and languages as well. You know, don't be shy and be too humble. Even if you are picking up, you know, some basic Japanese, just put it there. You know, because everybody know Cantonese or English, right? So if you have a bit of basic of Japanese, put in there, or you know, French. And all that interest as well,
That is a bit like you know, an in-depth you know, HR knowledge. Just a quick sharing, because when we look for a candidate, when we look for you know a staff, of course we count on the performance. So that's why performance is highly reflected by your experience. by your competency, by your achievement, your track record. But at the same time, those kind of things is all rooted by your character. So if there would be some special things which can show your character, which means like a volunteer work that you are willing and engaged in spending your spare time to help and can contribute. I think that is a very important element to be put and show to your employer that you would have the same trait to influence the others. I think that's something very good on.
True, very, very good point, Alvin. So let's move on to, now you have your CV out there, but how do you put yourself out in the market, right? I mean, no point you come up with a brilliant CV, but nobody knows who you are. So these are some three maybe platform for you to explore and how do you put yourself out there, right? So number one, social media. It's very practical. I think some of you are already doing that, on LinkedIn, JobsDB, Monster, Indeed, or some Facebook and all that. You can Google and find a bit more. So do a little bit more. I believe some of you maybe have a profile on LinkedIn, but maybe it's not comprehensive. So think about what we mentioned just now and some of your, you want to highlight some of your achievements and what makes you stand out from the rest. Two, agencies. I will highly encourage as well. I mean, besides just sitting at home and forwarding online, your CV to online, I want to encourage you to go out there, maybe just pick 3 or 4 agencies.
Recruitment agency.
Yeah. And meet up with a consultant, be proactive, right? I mean, I was a recruiter myself. If I receive a lot of CVs every day, but if I have a candidate who call me, I say, hey, look, I want to explore options. Can I meet up with you and all that? And if I meet the person, it's going to put a name to the face and the person will leave a good impression. And I will shortlist the person immediately if I have a role, in future. May not be now, but you got to be patient and, meet now first. And this will actually put you out there, right? And the third one is network. So, I mean, in Hong Kong, we have so many avenues of networking, like, Chamber of Commerce, associations, and also meetup group. So let's say you want to change industries, right? Yeah, let's say in digital or SME or entrepreneurial, just go there and meet up with people.
I particularly like this point number 2 and number 3. Yeah. So because these 2 is pretty active. I like the way how you position it. Not only craft your CV and then put it on social media, but you also try to take some proactive step to meet somebody. Because once you meet someone, there are 2 things to be generated. Number 1, energy. All right. So we meet and then we try to talk with somebody that, oh my God, I in such a situation, but I'm really looking forward to locating myself into any places. So people give you an idea and then you found that, oh, I'm pretty much in touch in the market. That is actually very energetic. And second of all, I think not only about energy, but also I would say there would be a certain good advice to break our own assumption. Sometimes when we stuck ourselves at home and just think about the market, it might not be true.
That's true. That's so true. What Elvin said, I echo that, right, 200%. When you sit at home and you just plan and think of what you want, you have limited perspective, But if you put yourself out there, you meet a consultant and you say, I wanna change industry, but I don't know what I can do. So the consultant look at your CV, give you perspective, options and all that. You get more ideas, There's no loss at all. And then networking, you meet new friends. Why not? Maybe you meet a partner there. Nowadays, you don't know, you meet, So referrals and all that, really. So enjoy and, just put yourself out there. And just want to show a quick example of, LinkedIn because it's due to time limitation. So again, similar to the CV format, right? Have a very professional profile picture, short summary, short bullet point, your work experience. Please do not upload your CV on LinkedIn in that sense because LinkedIn is networking and also for e-learning and, a couple of things, but not specifically, so obvious that you're looking out for a job. And I want to highlight on the ask for recommendation there, right? I think some of you may not have that. So if you browse through towards the bottom, there's ask for recommendation. What's that? Just think of maybe your 2 past employers, ask them like, hey, Elvin can help, put a 1 or 2 positive for recommendation. It's like a testimonial. So example is that, oh, I work with Alvin, he's so passionate and dynamic and, a lovely partner to work with. So I will think of Alvin,
Okay.
and connect to relevant network as well. Okay.
That's cool.
So so this is I want to show example of a decent profile. This may be basic, but I just want to echo again. Kelly is one of my best friends, so sorry to put your profile out there. But very nice dress code, smart and cheerful, and because a picture does reflect a lot about you. Actually.
It's pretty much likable.
Yeah. And on the far right, of course, it's extreme. Do not put picture, doesn't really, you go for hiking, cannot even see your face there, or you go for party. So these are the examples you can get on LinkedIn. Yeah, Sample's good at that. And of course, some of the online platform for job search, you can take time and go through it. Some of the recruitment agencies, you can browse through and meet up with a person. So what's next, right? So maybe you can get shortlisted now for the interview. What do you do now?
Okay. Congratulations. Huh?
Congratulations. Yeah. You reach this step, right? You want to really prepare for it. So a very, very, practical top 2 tips will be, please do a thorough research, right, before you go to meet up with a recruiter or the employer, because it's not easy to shortlist someone. So if people want to see you, make sure you spend some time, do your homework, look at the website, and company profile. Another shortcut will be check out the company website press release. You will get the latest news about the company. So it's a bit of shortcut to know, let's say they are listed for IPO and what's the latest products or services. And do more, get to know who is the hiring manager, their background a little bit, and so if you can search, there's so many things on the website. Tip number 2, of course, you've learned so much and you're prepared. Please do a role play or practice with a friend. You'd be surprised. I have some close contacts or friends or family who think they know they are ready, and because your CV is there, right? You know all your work experience. But it's different when suddenly you meet up with a recruiter and maybe you're stressed or you are nervous, right? Tell me about yourself. Actually, a lot of people go blank. It's so true.
It sounds easy, but actually come to the reality, it's not very much manageable for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Before we move forward, there are 2 things I just would like to give an echo. So tip number 1, particularly thorough research, sounds simple, but it's always a missing part when you are busy. When you just thinking that I'm a bit nervous and then I need to prepare this and that. But at the very end, you miss the very critical part, is to know about your future employer. So then what is the right way? Then Sabrina already mentioned that internet is actually full of information. You just type about the company name on Google, first of all, and press news, not image, whatever. Press news, and definitely you find a lot of current news about that company. Probably you need to know about that. And second of all, they already got a lot of digital targeting information for you that you also see about the similar company. So that means it's actually the competitor. You need to know more about the things happening in their field. That is so much important. And final point is, again, it's a reminder for you guys, because we really got a lot of questions from Microsoft Teams, the Teams Live.
Okay.
So don't miss it, because we will walk through the next part is about the interviewing skill.
Okay.
And also there will be something, also an extra bonus skill for you. And after that, there will be Q&A session. So do share your question to us.
Okay, let's get started with the 7 tips for interview skills. There's a lot of tips out there, so we just pick a top 7. Energy. It's so important, guys. What does it mean? Your presence, when you enter the company, do you smile, or if you exude very stress and tension, energy, smile, right? And also receptionists, don't look down on them. They could be actually a gatekeeper, and be friendly and do not be rude to them. They may be the one who give feedback later on to the hiring manager. Oh, this guy is so rude, come in late and rude basically and all that. We have that experience before. And body language, right? So you want to look relaxed, comfortable, Of course, dress code is very basic. Please dress professional and relevant to the role. I mean, the industry you're in. Decent, yeah. And your voice tone as well. You don't want to speak like a little mouse that people cannot hear, or too loud. You're like blah 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 blah.
You're talking about me?
Sounds familiar. We all know that, but I think it's different in that sense. You have got a very good energy, and a firm handshake is very important. What does it mean? I personally have experience of a jellyfish handshake.
Jellyfish.
You know what's jellyfish, right?
Of course.
It's so bad. So we have this candidate who, walking out after. It's very nice guy, very decent, very good experience, but such a soft jellyfish handshake. So, I mean, it's not judging or whatever, but it does reflect a little bit, of your personality.
Right.
It maybe reflect a little bit of maybe, fickle-minded or not confident or, decision making. I don't know. So even though if the person does not have this negative connotative, but it's, it's just too bad. It gives that kind of aura.
Can you go back to the previous slide? I think, yeah, the one before that. I think just want to give an echo because when Sabrina talked about that, suddenly, hit my memory to one theory that I keep on searching on the internet. It's called Mehrabian rule. There is a rule contributing a person's impressions. So that's a magic number of 7, 38, and 55. If the percentage of the constructs. So when people restore your first impression, so the contribution factor, 55% that people will retain the memory is all about your nonverbal.
Yes.
That means how you dressed, your body language, your handshake.
Yeah.
So they memorize it the best. And 38% is your tone. Okay, and so sorry that only 7% is actually the content that you said. So make sure that you give a very good and impressive, positively impressive image to your future employer.
Yep. Very, very true. Yep. So please remember that tip 1. Yeah, very good energy and their presence. You want to charm the recruiter or the hiring manager. Tip number 2. What does it mean, right? 1 minute elevator pitch. So, yesterday we shared about this very basic is tell me about yourself. So what do you say when the recruiter or hiring manager asks you, do you talk a lot about your hobbies or your personal life stories and all that? So point number 1, please do not tell about your whole life stories. You must know the reason why hiring manager or recruiter have this question. Your resume already show a lot of information. So why do they need you to repeat that?
Yep.
So the thing is that they want to see your presentation skills, your communication, how you carry yourself. When you speak, your personality exude out, right? Are you arrogant? Are you sincere? Are you confident? Are you faking it out? So please take note of all these little non-verbal cue as well. So it's a 1 minute summary of your background, experience, education, and skills. Yeah. So actually relay back to the few key pointers of your profile summary. So not to get stressed out or worried, look back at the profile summary that we shared just now. So because of it's a few key pointer, right? What you can do is you can link all the pointers together and turn it into a nice storytelling. Yeah. About you. So it will take 1 or 2 minutes. Okay. I will move on to tip number 3, strength and weaknesses, which is a very, very common question. Yeah. So Alvin, maybe tell me about your strength. So how do you usually answer this?
Well, I got a lot. And first of all,
humble.
Okay. 2 things.
Just 3 pointers.
2 things. Okay. 2 things only for my
2
strength. Number 1, I think I shouldn't say I think, but I'm proactive. So I grab about the chance. I won't bound it by the salary. So I do things according to the value. If there will be value creating, so I don't mind whether that is inclusive in my salary or not. And second of all, I know how to communicate with people. So if you are a little bit introvert person, so I try to do a very good rapport by not, dominating the conversations. Okay. But then if you're more extrovert, and then I'll be able to, make a very good energetic talk with you. So this is the 2 things. Do you asking me? Did you ask my weakness as well?
Yes, please.
Basically, no.
Please. Oh my God.
But I will also say
Be
that.
humble, be humble. Yeah.
Okay, overconfidence.
Overconfident. Yeah, that's also weakness, right?
All right.
Good point. Good point. So I want to, share with you guys how, you look at, you were saying about, proactive, right?
Proactive.
And also
Be able to connect with people,
connecting.
communicate with different
people oriented. So you just need to come up with 2-3 pointers and then share a bit of example. That's
Right.
it. Strength. Do not come up with a whole long winded kind of story in the beginning. You will actually get the hiring manager will actually get lost with what you say, because we have some people who in Canada it's called 兜圈啊. You go round and round from the beginning. So it's no pointer, detail minded, people oriented, and then you give some example, and then you stop, and then you look at the hiring manager if actually if they are interested to know, hey, Sabrina, what do you mean by detail minded? Just share some experience or example. That's it. And then you move on to weakness, right? So for weaknesses, maybe some candidate will ask, how should I share about my real weakness? If I am always late, So I mentioned it or not.
Very good.
So I give a very good example of perfectionist, and also Alvin overconfident. I mean, you try to think of a trait which is maybe could be a bit of your weaknesses, but you also portray a bit of your strength. Yeah. How do you turn it around? For example, perfectionist, I tend to focus a little bit more too much details that I miss the deadline. So maybe I should strive for excellence and not perfection, for something like that. So, and work on progress. Yep. That's it. So we go on to tip number 4. Why are you interested about this job?
Wow.
What do you think?
Think a little bit about that first, because I think if you don't prepare about that, that may be a trap for you to really fall into and then tell about the fact, because I need money. Okay, but I think that's not going to be a very good answer. Except that if you be able to search more about the company and try to match that company's prospect with your own career's prospect, I think that would be a very good way of answering these questions.
That's true. Never say it's because of salary or I'm looking for more money. You'd be surprised some people are verbally saying that we'll recruit it. Well, I do not share this out. So you want to be professional, right? Look at the job posting, look at your CV. You want to share your interest in the industry and how your passion can add value to the role. Something relevant. Okay. Tip number 5. Why should we hire you?
Wow.
How do you answer this question?
I think this question would be a bit tricky because, in a way to say you'll be able to show your strength again, but at the same time, if you oversell yourself, that, the other side won't feel very comfortable to see that, in the future, I need to work with an arrogant person. So how we be able to keep our humbleness, but at the same time, don't stop our confidence. So I think that is actually the right balance of that.
So I mean, you're right. We need some moderation, right? So basically, just remember, there's a reason why employer or the company have this role, because they need someone to help them with this problem or to meet these needs. So if you highlight what they're looking for, the job description and requirements, and think on your CV, what are some of your strengths and skills that match? It's very easy already. You show them, look, you're looking for this, right? I already have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
You're looking for me, right?
I actually done that before and it worked.
Okay.
So just be relevant, and share your experience and skills, which why they need to hire you. Okay. Tip number 6. Why did you leave your last job? We have many scenarios about this, right? Why people leave their last job. I mean, some people could be because you got laid off. Sometimes it could be you don't have a good relationship with your ex-boss, right? The chemistry, or maybe you're fired, or you work 24/7. Overwork, burnout. So do you tell the truth? How do you answer this question, right? So I think the key thing is remember never badmouth or say any negative for your previous employer. I guess here the trick is just be honest. Yeah, if you get laid off, just I think it's okay to mention. I mean nowadays we know. I mean, this kind of situation, economy downturn that hits a lot of people. Just mention that you got laid off, and you can mention a little bit more in the company. There are about 10 of us that are affected. But I decided to move on, and maybe it's a good opportunity for me to explore something which I've not got the time to do that.
I think currently under COVID, right, the economic situation is really pessimistic. So that's why layoff would be something really happening in the society. And if that is the real fact, and then I think what SAP would like to advocate is not to hide the fact, believe that people can understand about that, but to be more factual, not only about you, but how many people in the company or how many percentage of the whole workforce are being laid off and reduced it. I think that already gives a very objective picture to the future employer. But then if you are not actually being affected by the current economic situation, but you would like to switch yourself into the other job, I got a very interesting mindset myself that I see that I wish that one day if I am going to switch the job, I'm not telling that I'm going to, but one day if I am going to do that, I wish to tell my future employer that I planned to do. That means I've been, planned my career very well, and I see resignation is actually part of my graduation. Okay, I got a completely clear of my career planning. So I want to join a company for 5 years for doing this to achieve that, and I did it. So that's why it's actually my next move to do. So I think that's a very positive one. So two sides, if you are in a bit negative situation, make sure that we keep our honesty. But if you're on the positive side, make sure that you really have your career plan to do the reason for leaving in a positive way.
Yeah, that's true. I recall back one example, maybe I just share one. I mean, there's so many. So a candidate asked, right, because she decided to take a 1 year sabbatical leave. And before to move to the next job. So in the CV, there's a 1 year gap, right? So she was like, should I tell the truth? But I wasn't really working throughout the 1 year. So I said, what do you do? In the 1 year, I was doing help out with the social worker, actually, help out with some of the disabled kids. And meanwhile, she was picking up some painting skills and all that. The reason is she has been so into her work, right? There's no time for her to spend time with her own passion, hobbies, and things that from her heart she really wanted to do. So I asked her, I think you should tell the truth. Why not? I mean, nowadays employer will appreciate candidates who are honest, be open, and not only that, right? I think if you want, take a 1 year break and do something which you're passionate about, it shows that you have proper planning and you're passionate about something and you want to take time out. Why not?
I completely agree about that. Even though I doubt, 100% of the employer would have that open mindset or not. Yet, sabbatical leave has been having a lot of proved research talking about if you have this leave, implemented in your workforce. People working under with these such kind of arrangement, they are pretty much innovative.
Yeah.
Because if you got a break and then just do something that you're passionate with, then your perspective change.
Yeah.
When you put this innovation, put back to your workforce, that is a benefit to the company. So it's nothing about the job, hunting, but taking this opportunity, I also would like to advocate to the employer. If you are, with us, do consider that, receive the honesty from the, job seeker.
Yeah.
They are doing nothing wrong with telling you the honest side. But at the same time, we also need to be open-minded.
Yeah, that's true. That's very, very true. So you're right. I call that totally. Candidate who came back after 1 year sabbatical, they are more creative, more productive. Because before that, those who got burnt out, they never get rested properly. So there you go.
I need it.
Ellen, tip number 7. That's the last one for interview tips, right? Do we have time? Yeah. Okay. So this is a very common question. Towards the end, the interviewer will ask you, do you have any questions, right? What do you do with that? I will highly encourage you to come up with at least 2 or 3 questions. Why? Because I think it's common sense, right? It also makes the employer knows that you're interested in the company, you do some research, you want to know more. So, one or two examples, what makes you attracted to this company? And can you describe what is the company culture? That's it, very practical.
Sure.
You have any add-on to this?
So completely, I think, again, I'm not going to give the tips, and etc. But I think this kind of reflection and also practice would be contributing ourselves, again, not only for job seeking, but at the same time, how we be able to reflect our life, what is right, what is wrong, what is good for us, what is suitable for us. So by asking ourselves the right question, that is also a huge power of discovery.
Yeah, I will encourage, always tell go for as many interviews as possible, because actually throughout the journey, right, you will learn more about yourself, what you want, and you will know more about the industry that you want to explore and the company as well.
Correct.
Go for it, okay? And so this is a very, very interesting part which I'd add on, which wasn't in for yesterday's session. So for those of you, right, that are watching this session, you want a career change. It could be maybe 20, 30 years in the same industry, job or company. You needed a change for whatever reason. Maybe you get laid off. Maybe you want to go to something you're more passionate about because you realize before that you are not very happy. Or it takes so much of your time. You wanted to do something which you have more time for yourself. Whatever it is. So what do you do, right? It's difficult to start afresh or go through some changes. So I want to encourage you to, number one, pick up a new skill. Yep. So, okay. What does it mean? So I give you an example. This is a real scenario. We have a candidate who, all this while maybe in advertising, media, media planning, blah, blah, blah. And so wanted to change industry into something like digital, right? I mean, digital platform and it being in a media, it's not completely the same. But it's relevant in a sense because it's in the advertising agency. You touch a little bit of digital world. It's different from the nowadays digital. So why not pick up a new skills, right? Go online and learn something about digital. So number two, go out there, as I always encourage all of you guys, go network industry to flourish your knowledge in a similar industry that's relevant. Yep. Third one, volunteer yourself in the same industry. Would you like to elaborate on this volunteering?
Oh yeah, sure. These extra bonus tips is all for if you would like to change your career. Say, for example, if you've been, in logistic field for so many years, and suddenly you would like to change your field to do things more like a marketing agency. About currently the social media, the personal branding would be really a trend. So that's why you would like to have yourself in this professional field. But you particularly know nothing about that. Who is going to pay you for that? No, honestly speaking, no. But what you can do right there is try volunteer yourself to go for some, let's say, for example, the student project. They might need to have experienced persons to tell about the situation in the market, try to join about the project and as their marketing advisor, and then give some, volunteer experience with them. Because I only believe one thing. Point number one, pick a new skill by means of learning. That is important. But I would say that is a way of inputting new information. Putting in new information doesn't necessarily let you digest immediately. So what you can do is do output.
Yeah.
That means you exercise yourself by taking actions, by doing this experience, and you can reflect yourself more. Learning is a whole set of inputting and outputting. So do more kind of like volunteer work, and I'm sure that acquire you skill that the future employer may like.
That's very true and very practical as well. So
because I'm sorry, because I really got a passion about that. Because a lot of people ask me, so hey Alvin, I would also like to do a corporate trainer. I also would like to be a public speaker. So what kind of things I can do in order to switch myself to this field, no matter what you are now doing? Yeah. Maybe you are an accountant, maybe you are a solicitor. So how I can be a KOL or kind of like the public speaker? The very first thing is raise your hand. Go to the Sunday school, go to any home for elderly. Try to sponsor them with a speech, a sharing. Try to talk with a person, try to talk with a batch of persons. And at the same time, raise your hand. If you've got friends that are going to do wedding, the social distancing
Yeah.
is going to be out, right?
Yes,
So
yes.
more wedding will be there. Sponsored then by, oh, can I be the MC for your wedding? Then you will have a chance to talk with multiple hundreds of people on one single time. That train your confidence
Yeah.
on the stage. That is something that you need to do first before you get paid for that.
That's totally a brilliant idea, Alvin. So guys, go for it. Yeah, start this weekend. Think of a group. Yeah, and the last one. So I mean, this is really optional.
Yeah.
I personally have met a lot of Uber drivers. They are actually how to say, during this COVID-19 situation, maybe they are forced to take non-paid leave.
Yeah.
They actually do a bit of part-time. At the same time, they explore some, own business, entrepreneurial. Yeah. So you can do that as well. Why not? I met a Uber driver who shared with me that actually I'm very passionate about e-commerce, but when I was doing full-time, I don't have the time to do that, right? So I was doing both, yeah. And so another example is very good. I just told Alvin this morning as well. There's this guy who is very interested in baking cakes. He is full-time in a corporate, but he's actually very passionate about, making a very good cakes and, selling to other people. Well, I mean, he was just doing it alone and friends, get to taste and share with other people. And now he's doing online business for full-time. And the time is just perfect where suddenly we have COVID-19, right? And everybody is ordering delivery, become a trend. So there you go. I mean, be entrepreneurial and, come up with some business. So I want to go back to, these are the example of online courses, pick new skills that you can go in. Fantastic. We don't have such a thing last time, right? You can go in and some of them are free and some of them you get certification as well.
Wow.
You can learn so many different things from there. Check it out. Okay. And again, I think we're on time, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, good. I just want to wrap up a little bit here to remind all of us that job hunting is a process. Yeah, remember it's a journey. I mean, your life as well. It's not a destination. It's always a journey. So while you're doing that, why don't you enjoy yourself, meet new people, learn new things, right? And it's growth mindset. And you want to be ready when the opportunity arrives. So I want you to imagine 6 months from now. You want to get somewhere. So I have, let's say, person A and B. Person A, 6 months from now, doing nothing because maybe dwelling in the negative thoughts and, nobody want to hire me and I send so many CV and just stop doing anything, just watching Netflix at home. I mean, nothing to do, nothing wrong with Netflix, I'm also watching, but you need to have a balance, right? So person B, every other day, once in a week, maybe meet new person, go and attend some meetup group, association, networking, send CV, maybe send 10 in a day or something like that, So guess who will actually be more ready when 6 months come out, when the economy picks up, right? And headhunters start calling. You know what I mean? Third one, it's again, it's the best time for reflection career path, right? To explore your passion, know what you want. And best time to learn new skills. Again, I mentioned that. And please take action. Do not dwell too long. What to do, my challenge, I'm stuck, I'm stressed. Just do something about it. Right?
Never dwell.
Yeah, never dwell. Do something about it. I always joke with my dad, actually. Sometimes we say, natto. Don't be a natto. You know what I mean? You know what it means? NATO. Means no action, talk only. Yeah, do not be a natto. So action is everything. Yeah. Last but not least, if throughout the whole sessions, it's okay if you forget everything that we shared today, but please take away these 2 key points, right? It's always very crucial to stay positive in whatever you do, whatever tough situation you're experiencing, and embrace changes. Be open-minded, be flexible, meet new people, learn new things.
All right.
Right?
So true.
Yes, so I want to end it. Yeah, these are the 2 pointer again, and stay positive and embrace changes. Is what I got this 2 inspiration words from my grandfather. And want to pass this time to Alvin for Q&A, right?
Wonderful.
Yeah.
So we can't wait for that because there would be really a lot of question. Okay, allow me to summarize it a bit. So first of all, I try to categorize it for the resume part. One question: how far should I go? Okay, I have over 25 years experience and too many different companies. I may be a little bit too old, so should I hide away some of my junior years experience? So first of all, I think 25 years experience is something that we need to embrace. So never say oh.
Yes.
Never say oh. I think
Yes.
that is actually the right mindset first.
Yes.
But should I hide away the junior years experience?
That's a very good question. Okay, example, 25 years, right? So let's say you only been with one company, so you cannot hide. But you show your career progression. Yeah, like let's say the first 10 years, what you do, then the next 5 years, and show progression, show your achievement, show promotion, and special projects. That's great. But if you, let's say, have 25 years, but you have like more than 15 companies, please do not list down 15 companies. Mention you can actually the first job until the third one, let's say you spend about 10 years there, just combine it, right? These are the years that you actually join in. These are the few company industry. You mentioned industries. First 10 years, these industries, as let's say sales, supervisory, whatever, because I'm sure when you started off as a junior, and focus more on your recent, maybe past 5 jobs that shows more relevant experience. Correct. And skills. Correct.
So I, giving an echo to what Sabrina mentioned, I think 2 things. Number one, it's all about the some people comment that for a resume, okay, for the experienced person like you, it should be around like 2 pages or maximum 3 pages. So then if that junior years of experience that contribute you to long length of the whole resume, try to summarize it better, okay? The way how we summarize is all about accepted. If that is all we can, bundle it into one single or couple of industry, that would be a certain role that, you can summarize it. Do try to do it in your junior years, but not just hide it, okay? But again, as what she mentioned, point number 2, put more focus on the recent years, okay, of your reworking experience, because by a lot of the IO psychologists. So we always think that your genuine competence is all counted in your recent 2 to 5 years. So your recent 2 to 5 years, you need to put a focus, put a spotlight on that. But then for the rest of that, maybe so you can summarize it a bit to make it more lean. I think that is actually something that you can do. Okay, so the other thing is also related to the resume. If the certification that I'm going to take is yet to be completed, so should I still put it on the CV?
Yes. For example, MBA, graduating in 2020, just put it there. So 2 reasons, right? The employee will know that you are doing something now and you are moving towards that goal. So why not? Yeah.
Okay, so I think that is, but do put it in a more factual way.
Yeah.
So something like the MBA program that you are now taking, expect to finish, expect to complete in what year in the future?
Yeah, like I said, 2022. Don't say graduating in or whatever.
Yeah, because that's not true. Right?
Yeah, that's true.
And then I think there would be some more question related to. All right, so let's go for some interviewing-related question. A couple of them also related to the strength and weaknesses. Maybe you guys are interested about that. For the strength or weakness, should it be 2 separate things, or can I have it combined? For example, I am a person who look for excellency, so I'm also a perfectionist. But it gives a pressure to people working with me. So should I combine it? Okay, again, the other question would be. Right. So there would be things related to. Just a moment, Just a moment,
So many questions now.
Yeah, a lot of questions. So the other question related to also about the weakness, how we be able to make the weakness side to be more easily to be accepted. So maybe just answer that first.
All right, okay. I think I echo the examples I gave just now, right? For example, the perfectionist one. So you would say this is my area of weakness because actually being a perfectionist has a lot of blunders. You tend to miss deadlines because you focus so much on everything's being perfect, the dot, the line, and you drive maybe a bit crazy because last minute things, right? But at the same time, it can be also your strength because it shows that you're very detail-minded. You care a lot of small things. So you can share that as an example. Yeah.
So as what Sabrina mentioned, I think the principle of there is actually how you be able to craft it a bit to turn a weakness also to show the flip side of that.
Yep.
That means the positive side of
Yep.
that. So to make it a little bit smart, okay, but at the same time, try to be humble, try to be honest. I think for a lot of recruiter, we also like a lot of employer, we also like people who be able to have a reflective mind. So how much you're aware that you are not very good at something, I think that is also very much important.
Yep.
Okay. The other question is going to be very interesting.
Yeah.
Very interesting one.
Bring it on. Yes.
Talking about when you go into an interview again. So before sitting down to answer any question, I know handshake is essential for interview, but because of COVID-19 recently, should I refuse it nicely?
Yeah. Okay. You can share later. Personally, I wouldn't shake hand. I think it's okay. Everybody knows that. So you just go in and say hello and hi, and you could, sorry, you don't mind, yeah, we do that, or, elbow and all that. Just make it a laugh. Everybody understand this situation. Okay. You don't have to feel obligated. It's okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I think particularly now, I think you already answered your own question. You already answered your own question. The point is reveals it nicely.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
So I think with a humble mind, with absolute politeness, and then everyone can accept that the current situation, people will have different understanding.
Actually, don't worry, the recruiter may not even want to shake your hand. They may have this situation where, they're not max.
But still, I think this question is valid because you also need to have your psychological preparation. If they really come, I have to be more open-minded. I'm sorry.
Sorry if you don't mind,
it might not be that suitable.
And also, I give you a little bit tips, right? In Malaysian style, we actually, when we greet people, sometimes we don't shake hand with the Malay, right? We will just like that, like, nice to meet you. So you can do a little bit of that.
We're Chinese, right?
Turn it into something, positive and fun.
I think the principle is be more overall to put yourself more kind, more relaxing, okay? It's nothing that you need to be very freaked out, or what should I do? No. Just try to explain that, COVID-19 might not be that suitable with humble smile. Even though under mask, even though it's covered by mask, they can feel it. Okay? The other question. So that related to the bit like the reason for leaving. So for the tip 6, okay, if we told that we were a planned destination. We were in a planned destination. Will the interviewer ask, so what's your plan with us? How long years will you work with us this time? Okay, and shall I tell him or her honestly? So that means, okay, a little bit rephrasing about that. If I tell, it's a planned destination, just like what I'm mentioning. So what is the next plan? Okay, are you with me for another 2 or 5, 3 years? So would it be risky, this and that?
Yeah, I think the reason the hiring manager asked you this question because they just want to, be reaffirm that you're gonna stay along with them, the company.
Yep.
They don't want to, job hopper. So as long as I think the way you communicate, you are able to convince that, look, I'm looking for a long-term career growth and progress. If the company, is able to provide a role for me to grow within the organization, and I see myself progressed, I'm going to see it, for a very, very long haul. And so you don't have to mention like, 10 years or 20 years. It will be a little bit fake because nobody will know how long you're going to stay. So it's a bit of tricky question. Yeah, but you don't have to answer the numbers, but it's actually your intention that come out.
I guess this question is is pretty much to me actually. So it's a bit tricky for me to toss it to Seb. Because I mentioned that I love to have the idea of a planned resignation, to turn resignation to be a graduations. So that means if you tell that your previous one is actually you graduate from that. So if they ask you, hey, this time, how many years that you would like to stay and then graduate from our school, then I would say, from my perspective, I won't say that I will have an exact year. It's all depending on how much we be able to engage to discover the purpose behind. I think that is something a little bit more in depth. If we be able to grow together, honestly speaking, just like a partner, just like my wife, husband, my boyfriend, my girlfriends. So the moment of time when we need to decide to break up somehow is we don't grow each other. Okay, just exactly same as the employment relationship as well. It's the same. So if we be able to discover about the mission, we have a commonality, and then we have the vision to grow together. So it's not bounded by year for the graduations. It's all bounded by the year of the sense of the future. So wish that can give you some idea about that.
Till death do us apart.
This is a bit vague. Okay, but anyway.
Next question. I think
quite a number of questions we still have. Okay, let's go for this. I think this person, with a background that has been out from the market for quite a long year, which is not very good situations. Okay, if a job seeker has been struggling out for work for so many years and it's actually quite long, do you have any advice for this situation? What else to be done upon, the resume, the job search, the soft skill or anything in order to, facilitate me to go back to the job market?
How long did you mention?
Didn't, but let's say 5 years.
Oh, for a long time job market,
yes.
Right? So
out from the job market.
What to tell the future employees?
What kind of things can be done?
Right. I think, because this could be very, very different story background, right? It could be 5 years, but what do you do within the 5 years is very important. So if I'm the employer, I will want to know, I think it's okay to take a break. It's fair. You honestly tell me you're out of the market, but what do you do within the 5 years? I mean, I have real situation where 5 years because this candidate got married, got pregnant, and want to spend time with the family and kids. So again, then if your situation is A, just be honest and mention, I took a short break because, I spent time with the babies, and now I'm ready to, I think it's okay. And then, or 2, which is, it could be not to do with maybe babies and all that. It could be something to do with maybe more personal. I don't know, what is that? You're not ready to get back to the market. So maybe you can highlight the 5 years if sometimes if you do some, maybe you attend some new course or classes, or you help out with some maybe charity work or some maybe side business. As long as I think you just share whatever your situation, right? You just share that what you do productively, you highlight a bit of your personality that you are ready to move on. Do not say that you do nothing these 5 years. That is what is scary to the recruiter or employers, right? So you may have different reasons, but again, in conclusion, just highlight the few years, your reasons why, and whatever reasons, at the same time, you pick up a new skills, you help out with a business, you do some part-time job, and you learn something, whatever it is.
So if you, I kind of unfortunately has been out for workforce unplanned for let's say 5 years or more than that. So I think that is also related to one of the questions that I want to bundle together because we don't have enough time. The other question is all asked about, so if the market is challenging, should I lower down my expectation to go for the lower role? So I think these two questions will be rather similar because as a matter of fact, we are now out from the job market. I think, there will be a lot of technique. If you ask me, so whether you be also flexible enough to go for the lower role, I would say yes. So if I need to, do the study in order to make myself to be more employable, yes. So every single thing that you do, try to make yourself to be having a value in. So I think the key words for that is, make sure that you're flexible enough.
Yep.
Make sure that you try very best to, to add value to yourself. However, I just really want to give an idea, which is a bit in-depth. This morning time when we do the rehearsal and discussion, so I did share with Sabrina, the whole phrases is called do minimal, okay? I would say earn minimal to do meaningful. Again, earn minimal to do meaningful. What does it mean? I think current market is and also current situation in the digital market is easier for us to have a part-time job, or even for the social media, it's easier for you to start your own business. We don't need to earn a lot, honestly. We earn minimal. But at the same time, we do meaningful. That would be something that you really find yourself passionate about. The flip side of the risk is always about the possibility and also opportunity. So why not we turn our life to be a more successful story by means of not being measured by salary, by measured by happiness? I think this concept will be something very much important. However, okay, there will be still something. Allow us to go for another 2 minutes only. So some people are asking whether I should wear mask for the interview or not. Straightforward. The answer for this question currently is yes. I know that you want to be more polite, but don't make yourself to be nonsense. Okay, so wear mask first, and then if you are being requested by the interviewer to take it off, and if you don't mind, and then you can. But from the very beginning, make sure that you don't make anything sounds not making sense.
Show respect as well.
Correct. I want Seb to answer the final question before we end up.
Okay.
Sorry to make it long, but do spend another 3 minutes with us.
Okay, we can help one more here.
Yep.
No worries.
I am an IT business analyst for 10 years, working experience in banking industry. Very specific question. I got an interview recently with a hiring manager. I was asked why my previous job were more on contract basis. What is the best answer to this question?
Well, to be straightforward, so I also want to ask, why is it on contract? But again, if you look at the market, right, IT contracting is, role and function and industry is very, very common. So it could be a reasons of some of the even good companies, right? Because of the company, they don't have enough headcount. So therefore, they need help with the division. So the whole division, they are all on contract roles. You can mention like that. And if the previous company which is reputable organization and the name, right, people will know. So I guess you don't have to worry much about it, unless you purposely choose for part-time or contract role. But for IT specifically, actually you have an advantage because it's very, very common. Just say, company doesn't have headcount, or be honest about it, whatever reason it is.
Very honestly, when I walk through your question, I feel a bit shocked why the hiring manager would ask this question. Who else doesn't know that for IT is more on contract base? Who else for banking industry is pretty much strict on headcount, right? So I think, but I'm not discounting about the ability of that hiring manager. I think there would be an intention behind. So the real question behind is all about, okay, for going normal track, you go for the perm, you go for the contract job. But of course, you might also would have a perm opportunity. But why don't you develop yourself in a perm opportunity, but still go for that 2 years contract-based job? Then if we be able to check whether the hiring manager would have these questions at the back, I think you have to tell about the reason why you make this judgment. Honestly speaking, maybe for the contract job, that provides you a larger variety to work in multiple industry. Which is something that maybe you would prefer, or in another way is to say that once I'm attaching with one single, let's say the contracting company, they will place you the different company, right? You like the style of working with that contracting company, maybe. So you need to find out about the question behind the question, okay, in order to really seek about the intention of that, okay. Right, so I'm sorry that we have been, taking another 5 minutes.
We have to wrap up. Sorry,
so
guys.
many questions we still haven't finished. But definitely we'll be able to stay in touch each other. Very lastly, there will be a couple of points that I would like to mention before I really pass it back to Sabrina for her final words. Okay, the very first thing that I would like to say is, okay, for our sister company, so they are also doing a certain recruitment and also the contracting job. Honestly speaking, we can't guarantee that we'll be able to help to locate you in the right places. But why not give a try if you really need it? So here will be the first QR code and also the link to be on the chat box. If you wish to register and talk with our recruiter and then do contact us, and then we will try to refer you to the right one. Again, even though I say that we can't guarantee,
Yeah.
but why don't we give a try? So I think that is the concept.
Yeah.
Okay. Then point number 2.
Oh, got it right this time.
All right. So for this kind of like crafting the CV and then doing about the career coaching to have the right mindset, we always do these pay services to some of the companies and some of the individual. Just if you think that you need it and you want to know more, contact us. Couple of email addresses are there, then you'll be able to send your messages to us. All right, that is number 2. And finally, okay, so here is actually a QR code for the question there. We love your sincere advice to us. So this time is a Creating Shared Value project, and this workshop will be the very end for this career transformation series. We don't aim to do it in multiple times because honestly speaking, we don't aim to have any profit. We just aim to do the contribution to the society. But still, I'm so believing that we still have the room for improvement, and then your sincere advice will let us grow together with you. We also love this relationship. So wish that this 75 minutes or already 80 minutes has been providing you some insight which help you a bit. Okay, Sabrina.
Okay, last 2 key learning to take away. Like I mentioned, if you forget about everything in the session, all of you are in different tough situation or challenging situation or learning or, some thoughts and all that. Just remember, stay positive, whatever you're going through, hang on there, and then embrace changes. Meaning be flexible, be open-minded, and just try. Never give up. So that's it. Yeah,
I love it.
I wish you good luck and always have a very positive, good energy. And yeah.
Never give up. Okay, job hunting is a process, and in the process, if you need us, let us know. We'll be always there. Okay.
Yeah.
See you guys. Good luck.
Yeah. Bye. Good luck.